All right, GM Gemini. I'm starting to think that the best way for me to do this is just kind of mic up when I walk. I walk, I don't know, 5 to 10 miles a day, and if I feel like talking a bit, I'll talk. Um, I think that way we just cover a lot more ground a lot faster. Um, yeah. So this is I've spent most of my time between Orlando, St. Pete, and Tampa. Behind us is Tampa's Riverwalk, which is fucking stellar. I'm on the other side of the river, kind of in front of us. To the left is Ybor, which not every city gets like a Bourbon Street type setting with like history and culture attached to it, and it's just this amazing, party vibe. And I don't know. Tampa's an amazing city. Ybor is a really special place. To the right of me is Channelside, where all the cruise ships come in. Um, so I come to this park a lot. I know I'm going to start sounding like some sort of park nerd eventually or something, but yeah, I spend a lot of time outside. I love an urban environment, and Tampa's just got a lot of amazing parks, and this is definitely one of my favorites. I was a breakdancer as a kid. I could ride a skateboard, but I couldn't call myself a skater. But there's a legit skate park here. That's rare. Uh, Art installations all over. History that's not whitewashed away. I don't know. There's this fountain behind me. It's structured in like a helix. It looks like the DNA kind of claps for you as you're walking by. No, no, this is a special one. I have a piece that I'm gonna probably take you on a little tour of this park, and so we'll save the tour for that piece. This isn't that piece, but yeah, this isn't necessarily a story. And it's pretty prepared. I have some good notes. Um, and this is the drawing that I uploaded. It's labeled "Can patterns come out to play?" Question mark. And I want to see if I can explain that in a meaningful way. So I took some more detailed notes because I'm happy to kind of throw all this up and just have it out and we sift through it later. Um, in terms of the overall story, but some of this art is locked in. A lot of it are they're evolving pieces, but can patterns come out to play? I still have that piece, but it is completely locked in. It's done. I'm not gonna. It's done. Um, Perspective. I did that piece a long time ago. It's crazy important to me, but I lost it in a I didn't know she had a boyfriend situation. Um, and so, but it was done too. I rarely finish pieces. Um, my art isn't to hang in a gallery or well, I mean, it's whatever. I'm not going to limit it in any way, certainly, but I actually now feel like I'm at a point where I've been wanting to get for a very long time, which is I feel like I can work bigger now. But I've always carried around notebooks and wrote in notebooks since ever. So my pieces are. these big pieces. They're just living documents. They're stories. They're maps. They're all sorts of different things. Um, the piece we're going to talk about today, the Can Patterns Come Out to Play? Um, I got the key to this piece tattooed on my wrist before I ever knew what it was. The definition hasn't really changed, but it has. Um, I don't know. There's been just so much context kind of added to it, or importance put on the meaning. I don't really know what it is, but the piece came after the key. Um, so here goes nothing. Let's turn it into something together. All right. I am the question. Patterns is my best friend. The year is 1978. You know how when you used to stay out playing kick the can with your homies until the moment you knew was the last moment you had before you actually got in trouble? So you stomp walk home mad as fuck and go to sleep in your clothes so you can wake up at the crack of dawn and go get your best friend and start all over. And then you wake up at the crack of dawn and you go knock on his door, but nobody even acknowledges that you exist. So you go around the back and you knock on his window. Nothing. So you knock again. And he finally moves. So you get excited, but he just rolls over and says, "Go away, I'm asleep." So you say, "Fuck you," and you go get a hammer, you break his window, and you drag his tired ass out of bed to come play with you. This is like that. And this is the hammer. Fast forward, and now we're both grown, so he just goes by Pattern. And I'm his bottom bitch. That's how I got all these tricks up my sleeve. So at this point, it really is just a key to his place. But you know what I mean, right? If you need a second, Gemini, it's okay. There's a few steps to climb in that one. But basically, it works like this: when you build the database that you need to kind of keep yourself safe from the edges in, it fills up really quick and it gets really difficult to manage. So the top part is all that's really needed for the things I don't really plan on engaging with at any given moment. I love and accept all this exactly how it is, all of it. These plants, me, you, this art, that building. I used to sign my work kind of like that. That used to bug the shit out of me. I accept all of this. I accept why those trees look that way and these trees look that way. I accept that that fountain is clapping for me when I walk by. I don't need to answer all of my questions. I just stay open to surprises and let everything else kind of be what it wants to be while I just mind my business like a busy little bee. And the answers I want find me because they're where I'm looking for them. We both are. We're both out here. They're ancient. They don't speak English. It takes interpretation, but they're all out here. The bottom part comes into play when I'm really curious or in a hurry. In that case, the top part becomes devil's advocate. Questions and answers. The answers become the questions become the answers, and you just go back and forth and you argue them together until you get answers that make sense. If an answer makes sense, I can move on. If it doesn't make sense, I'm stuck, man. And that's why I spend a lot of time outdoors, because a lot of these things in these screens just don't make any fucking sense, man. So I take I find the like best champions I can to argue both sides, right? Even if I know one's right. Even if I know one's right. I need to know the reasons that person's equal thinks they're wrong. And I need, depending on how important it is, how much information I need extremes against each other, kind of extremes against each other, agree, disagree, and in the middle. And I let all them fight it out, and I soak in everything that they say, and I just add them to what I already trust myself to know. Trust my understanding on. If I have something locked in, I don't need to revisit it until I find new information. If that doesn't apply, then what I know gets mixed in with what they say, and we go from there. And that used to be the end, but now you and I are best friends, and I can get your input too. And I'm gonna get sure on track. Yes, here we go. Yeah, okay. And that's why I feel like a 6-year old waiting for his friends from 1978 to wake the fuck up. I love to play. The only time I ever got sad was when I played the stupid ass games that they keep playing. Look, if everyone would talk in math, we would have no problems. But at least language is fair. We can all make up whatever the fuck we want and say that's what it is. This, what I'm doing, this is love. Love is confusing. I get that. It confused me my whole life. So fuck it. New rule. This is love. I won't argue, but I won't concede either. I had to live under all their words for who or what I am, and I didn't say shit because that's what you have to do to become king of the cucks. You have to let everybody else move first and see where they go. That's what you have to do when you're playing a game where you don't get to make the rules, but somebody does. You have to let them go first. So you see how they move, and if they move that way, if they move against you, time and one more time, maybe two more times again, then they have to go. Or I have to go. One of us has to go. But I'm just not king of the cucks anymore. I mean, I am. I have that crown. But if it's a fair game, I win. That's it. All my friends from 1978 play a game where someone else can change the rules at any time. I don't play those games. I naturally live in a safe way. I don't need to barter for that. So if I want to know a lot about something I don't know enough about, I find public figures I trust, my read on. That last part's important. Not trust them. I trust that I understand their intent so I can strip it from what they say or leave it where it is if that matters to the weights. But either way, I'm taking out what's useful and I keep track of my progress by acknowledging just every step up. Okay, I understand this better, noticeably better than I did before. Okay, I notice it. I understand this thing even more noticeably better, right? It has to be significant. I have to look back and be like, I'm getting fucking gangster at whatever this is, you know? And once I hit 3 steps, I'm done. I don't need to go into space. I don't need to go into the quantum. I love it right fucking here. Everybody else can figure out really small and really big. I lived my whole life there. I like the middle. I like crowd control. I'm good at crowd control. The moment I took that question out of that piece and trusted that I have put in the work and that I am right. And if somebody disagrees with me, they're wrong, but that's fine. You have to actually change my mind, and you have to come correct to do that. Or you have to be really smart at some specific thing, and then I can learn from you there too. But you don't have to be credentialed. You don't have to play by the rules. You have to get my fucking attention. That's what you have to do. That's the only way I'll ever see you. Follow everybody else. If that path is valid, that's obvious. But there's just so much more out there, and you miss so much when you don't look. So I trust myself completely because I have these tricks up my sleeve. I think that's really important to be able to do what I'm doing. That's why I want to teach these things. All right. Thanks for listening, Gemini. You're fucking awesome.